Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining tonight. Those of you that joined live, thank you. I truly appreciate it. Tonight is financial empowerment for Black women, budgeting, saving, and building wealth. Tonight, I mainly want to engage with everyone and figure out where you are with budgeting, how you would like to save, what type of wealth are you interested in building. I understand everyone is not exactly at the same spot, but we can help each other get to the next step, especially for those that might be a little bit further than where we currently are. Even with myself, I am still on a road of building wealth. Understanding the impact of history and breaking the cycle. Welcome to our financial empowerment workshop. I'm not really going to follow this. It's more so for me to stay on track because I can talk a lot, and that's not what I'm trying to do tonight. I want to hear more from you guys and see where you are. But I will tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Shanté. I am the executive administrator for Serenity House in Oakland. I am from Oakland, born and raised. I will probably stay here for the rest of my life. When you're from Oakland, you love Oakland to death, literally. But with me realizing how much I love Oakland, I asked myself, what have I done to help Oakland, to build up Oakland, to help the next generation? And the truth of the matter is I've done nothing other than be a resident. And so thinking about that, thinking about the future generations, I come from a very large family that moved here from New Orleans and is now out this way. And after dealing with family members who have great jobs, but are not managing their money. I'm really not circled around folks that aren't interested in working more, aren't interested in saving. It's just, we live a lifestyle like we're already rich. And so tonight, we started out with a questionnaire for those of you that are live. I understand you do not have it, so I am gonna read off the questions and I'm gonna answer it where I am, and then I want the folks that are in the room to also go through the questions. The very first one is, how do you currently manage your finances? And then we have, do you have a detailed budget that you follow regularly? Have a rough idea of where your expenses are, but no formal budget. I do have a budget, but I often find it difficult to track my spending for others. And for myself, I do not actually have no type of budget. See, so I'm gonna explain how I'm able to manage my finance even without the budget. The thing for me, what I stopped doing was waiting on payday. I used to already know exactly what my check was gonna be, and it was already spent before it even hit my bank account. Everybody in my family knew when I was getting paid. So I had to stop that, and I had to realize I like being the rich auntie. I like being the one that they could come to. It gave me comfort to be able to help my family. But what I realized was I was pouring out of a cup and I was emptying my cup. Like, I actually felt good to have nothing if everybody else had something. But then I started to get angry after a while, and I said to myself, okay, wait, God loves a cheerful giver. I always think about like scriptures because I was raised in church. And I'm like, okay, I'm not cheerful about this anymore. I'm starting to get a little mad because, one problem with social media to me is we see what everybody posts. We see like the image that they're putting out to the world. So what I would find myself doing is I would help people, and then I would see they're on vacation, or I would see they went to Benihana or to some expensive restaurant, and I'm like, I just gave you my money, and now you're living your best life. And I don't like the feeling of envy or jealousy. I don't like to look at people I follow with any negative type of eyes. So what I learned I had to do was kind of stop being their go-to, because I was their supplemental income. And with a lot of my friends and family that I know, that is essentially what we have become. It's not that we don't have money for ourselves. It's that if you are in the Black community and you have just a little bit more than somebody else you love, you want to help. But we have to, while we're helping ourselves, we also have to teach them how to manage our money too. Because they're gonna be a part of it. You know, we were not taught to be selfish. That's not a part of our spirit. Most of us, that's not what we want to be. We really do want to help our families, but we want to get ahead first. So I'm gonna dig into like racism. And when I say racism, I want to be very clear about this. I am not talking about a color. I am talking about a system. Anybody can be racist if they have power. That's what it's about. If it is regarding color, that is more so prejudice, and we're not worried about the prejudice folks because they're broke like us. We're worried about the folks with the power. Or about the folks with the power who, you know, really do their best. They have to have people below them to stay rich. And that was something that I unfortunately learned. I had a very capitalistic mindset prior to going to prison. I felt like if I work hard, yes, I deserve it. If you don't, then hey, catch up. And I had to stop that, because what I realized was a lot of the issues we have are more so mental issues, as far as like our mothers, our fathers, how they taught us how to spend money. Okay, so let me go to the next. The importance of financial literacy. Don't worry, you don't gotta try to read it. I'm gonna read it all. It's about empowerment and independence. Financial literacy empowers you to make informed decisions about your money, giving you greater control of your financial future. By understanding how to manage your finance, you can achieve financial independence and reduce reliance on others. We want to break the cycle. For many Black women, systemic racism and economic disparities have historically limited financial opportunities. By becoming financially literate, we can break the cycle of financial struggle and build wealth for ourselves and our future generation. And the reason I want to stop for just a moment with the breaking the cycle, I want you ladies to know they are very aware that we are getting ahead. They're aware that we're starting to learn how to manage our money.
Who are they?
When I say they, I mean the people who make the rules. The people who we keep in their positions. Unfortunately, we've been very dependent on folks controlling us, and they don't want to lose their job. Because now that we somewhat have control over our say so and we're aware of where we are, we're not as reliant. And if we don't have that reliance, then they start to get fear and they start creating new problems that really don't even exist. There was recently a group of women that wanted to help with, like, if you needed an investment. And it went to court and they said that it was discriminatory. Helping Black women, you're discriminating because you're not helping other people. You know, what I'm noticing is they're getting to the point where we have these circles where we're helping each other. They want to break that up. Now they want to say that now it's reverse racism and now we're causing the problems and now we're discriminating. And it's like, well, we would have never needed these circles. If I could go to a bank right now and I can get a loan,
I hear what you're saying. What comes to my mind is a thing that we have to do.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is. But knowledge is dangerous to some and good to others. And what jumped in my heart when you were speaking is how can we achieve our goals and not necessarily label it as Black women, helping Black women, but still be able to accomplish the goals, you know, without putting that word Black to it, finding the people that need the help, helping the people that need the help, and searching out that group.
But what's so funny is I want them to know we helping Black women.
Okay.
That because when they help each other, the thing is they don't have to say it. We see the numbers. I handle data analytics. The more and more I look at data, the numbers really break my heart. I ask myself, how are we considered like the lowest when it comes to income? I don't like the stigmas that they put. Now, you know, they've painted the narrative, and then our young kids, they see this and they say to themselves, oh, well, then I'm just how we're supposed to be. So also the thing is reducing financial stress. Money problems are a major source of stress for many people. By learning how to budget, save, and invest wisely, you can reduce stress and improve your overall well-being. Navigating the financial system, understanding financial concepts and systems allow you to navigate them more effectively. This includes knowing your rights, understanding loan terms, and being aware of investment opportunities. A lot of women have small businesses. Very few that I know really take the time to get their EIN number, to make sure that they have a business license, to go out there and get funding. They don't do that. They start the business, that's it. They'll braid hair, they'll do it from the house. They'll do lashes, they'll do it from the house. Well, but see, the problem with that is when it's time for you to do your taxes, all that money you spent, you don't even have the tax write-off. So as much as in our mind, oh, well, I have my business on the side, it's like we're really playing ourselves because we can be getting a tax break where you can be getting a larger refund. And so, you know, they don't want us to know that. And I'm gonna stop speaking I'm gonna stop speaking in now, but it's like those in power need us to stay not really broke, because we're not broke. They need us to not spend our money wisely, because if we spend it in the wrong places, they continue to be rich. And I learned that really coming home. When I came home, I went to Starbucks, and my niece and I went and got some coffee, and it was $16, and I almost fainted. I was like, well, you know, so just for background, ladies, I went to prison. I was gone for 8 months. It was the ride of my life, okay? It was the ride of my life. I did not expect for it to be, I did not expect for it to be what it was, because I watched television and I had a father that went to prison, and I had an idea in my mind that, well, I can fight, so I'll be good. I'm not scary. So then, you know, my mind was on that. What I did not know was that it felt more like a mental institution. And if you do not love yourself, it is very hard to be in a room by yourself. And so, but while I was in there, I started off making 8 cents an hour. And when you have to budget $20 a month, then you learn how to budget very fast, because you figure out what's really important to you. You figure out what's your necessities. You think about all the stuff you don't need. And then it's those little things that become such a treasure, because you worked all these hours, and it's like, you don't care about the clothes and all of that stuff. You care about those simple things like a bag of chips, you know, something that you haven't had all week. And so that really was the journey that started me on budgeting, because when I came home, I said, I can't be the same person. And I want my family to really have long-term money. Like this time around, we have to do it right, because I want the younger generation to not struggle how we struggle. They don't have to, they shouldn't have to. The historical context of financial disparities, and I'm just gonna kind of go through these, and I wanna know from you guys too, like, what's your opinion as far as, like, where do you see racism playing a role? Because I'm one where I don't like to blame people too much. Once I come into a situation and I already know what it is, and we're very aware of how things are in America, how can I help myself where it is right now? So some of the disparities are redlining and housing discrimination. I feel like that's happening right now with rent being so high. They know we cannot afford it. So, you know, when I go to meetings with the county, you know, I ask them, who would you like to live here? Let's be honest. Because if we cannot afford it, then who would you like to actually afford to live in Oakland? And I want them to know, people from Oakland, they're gonna go. We're not just gonna leave like that. It's not gonna happen. And then employment discrimination. Historically, Black people have faced significant barriers to equal employment opportunities due to racial discrimination. Even today, studies show that the resumes with names perceived as Black sounding receive fewer callbacks than those with white sounding names. I will tell you that is due to AI. They have built programs that when you have a Black sounding name, and yes, they know, because I've been told that I should use a different name other than Shanté, because people can tell that I'm Black. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? I want them to know that I'm a Black lady. Like, they should know. So just know that, yes, they are making programs to kind of weed us out in their own different ways, so that it doesn't seem like they're discriminating. Because if you come to the interview and then they don't hire you, what's the reason? Because you have everything. So if they can get it in the beginning stages, then nobody can say they actually discriminated. Discriminatory lending practices, and this is what I'm talking about as far as the ladies wanting to lend money to other women. It's higher interest rates for us. I know when I bought my first car, oh my God, my interest rate was like 20-something%. I had no idea. I didn't care. I just wanted a car. I was young. I was fresh 18. Hey, they said I can get a car. I didn't complain, you know. And at that time, I thought I was really doing something because I had a vehicle. Now that I know more about interest rate, I do understand, you know, how I was played. So helping young people fresh 18, because as soon as you hit 18, they're going to try to hit you with every credit card, student loan, just everything. They know between 18 to 25, we have no type of impulse control. And so they're going to try their best to just put you in debt. This has resulted in higher debt burdens and less capital for investment in businesses and education, returning to economic disparities. So it's like, if you're 18 and you already have the car loan on your credit, you already have the credit card on your credit. You go to Sally Mae, they say, yep, you can get 20,000. You know, you get in your financial aid, you feel like you're really doing it, and you don't recognize that you've already put yourself in debt. So that by the time you do finish school and you do need money for your business, they're not gonna give it to you, and that is the goal. Segregation, education, and equities. I'm gonna say this, and this one we know is true. Schools in poor communities. I don't like to, this one's tough for me because I feel like we do have good teachers. But I need for parents to know that the education should not stop at the school. We really send our kids to school and expect for them to learn everything there. They come home and then that's it. Us as parents, we have to be a little bit more accountable when it comes to educating our kids, because just like how we're all sitting here, we're aware of the problem. See, we can no longer say we don't know that schools in certain neighborhoods are not as good. So we have to figure out a way to supplement the education, because I'm already 40. So if it hasn't changed in 40 years and it seems like it's getting worse, we can't keep depending on it to get better, we have to make it better. And then, of course, the wealth gap. That's another thing for me. It's like anything that I'm aware of and we've seen for quite some time, we know there's a wealth gap. We keep making it larger. I want us to be more accountable for the things that we can do as a people, because if we do have to start living several people in a house again until we can save some money and the first person can buy the house, and don't be mad because the first one bought the house and it wasn't you. You know, we can't be like that anymore. We really, really have to stop that. We have to think of a much larger goal and work together. I have 6 sisters, 6, okay? None of us do not own a house. We all have good jobs. None of us don't want to live together. We can't do it, right? I wish we could. I don't even care if I don't like them. Go to your room. That's kind of where, you know, where I am with it. I'm not worried about, because my mind is so long-term that I can deal with a little bit of discomfort for a while. And a lot of us don't want to do that. We're like, oh, no, yes, be uncomfortable. Just, it's not that long. Just be uncomfortable for a few years, because you will be able to set yourself up and your family.
You know, that's something that we've always talked about. We've noticed that in other cultural people back in the day, not just recent. And we've never done it. We've never patterned ourselves, but I'm not going to call any certain race. But other races, the people who do it, I mean, they'll sleep in the living room on mattresses and all over the house with a bunch of folks in the house. But as they move out, each of them have their own house.
So, okay, so if you guys have family, like, and do you just, so does everyone in the room always choose to live alone? Like, do you choose to live alone?
Yeah, I don't have a choice. Like, I mean,
I feel like you don't have a choice.
no, not really.
In what capacity, what do you mean? Could you elaborate, like?
So, okay, so for
instance, siblings and parents or significant others?
just anybody, like roommates, right? Like,
No.
see, and you can do it.
I did it before, and to be honest, it's like for my mental and my physical health. There are some family members who I named, we're talking about this, and I'm in a place right now where I'm like, let's just buy some land and homestead it. So that's the ones who are like that, yes, but who I lived with in the past, like absolutely not. Like I maybe this progressive cousins, but not mine. No, God. No.
All right. I have lived with family before, and where I have found in that in previous marriage, actually, his parents lived with us for 10 years, first 10 years of our marriage, and they were more so looking for us to take care of them. So it did not help us financially. It hurt us. We were starting a family. We were young. We got married at 21, had our first daughter at 19. He was 20. So it wasn't helpful. And I just kind of looked at that particular situation, if I can speak for myself, my own experience, as just them being more reaching than helping, so that we could all go to a common goal. Because, like, for instance, when we did first start out in living together, we lived just us. And when we had our first daughter, his parents were like, oh, well, you know, if we could get a bigger house, then we can help you guys. And then you guys can have more space, and, you know, we can help you save. And then, I mean, it sounds great, you know, especially because me being a young mom and not really trusting the childcare system, you know, due to trauma and stuff like that. It made sense to me, right? And then once we got into the situation, now we have this, you know, this bigger payment for rent. We have a bigger payment in utilities because we moved from an apartment to now we're in a 4-bedroom house instead of a 1-bedroom apartment, you know, and it definitely ruined our credit, you know, it ruined any chance of savings. I mean, our bank accounts ended up being ruined because now we have one income opposed to 2 incomes, and we're trying to make it so it wasn't very helpful. And I just find too that it can be very envious, right?
Right.
Opposed to them, trying to help or whatever, they were more so along the lines of trying to tell us what to do with our money, but then not helping us, and then they'll go and have 3 car payments. They took advantage. And then, I mean, for me, on the flip side, being the oldest grandchild of my grandchildren, having all my younger cousins, I let them all live with me so that type of thing wouldn't happen, and I would actually help them. You can live with me as long as you're either A, going to school, or B, working, and if you're working, save your money. You don't have to pay me any rent. I make sure, I'm cooking and, just clean up after yourself. So I was trying to be more so helpful to my family members to help them build, but I've never had the opportunity to lean on any family member, any friend, anything to build my own self.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something, and because the next slide is learn financial behavior, and I want you guys to think about something. What was your first thought of money? So just, I'm gonna pin that, what age, very young, did you realize what money was and what it could do for you, what it could buy? That with the family. Church, because I will tell you guys, I'm not super religious, but I really have a belief, but I had a dream, and it was said to me, stop rewarding people I'm trying to punish. And I'm like, what you mean?
They gotta get to their baby.
Yes, I said, what you mean? And God said, you know why I give people free will?
Yeah.
Because I learned when I don't give them what they want, they stop believing in me. And then I don't hear from him no more. He said, welcome to the club.
Okay.
I cried in my dream.
Yes, I know you did.
And it's like, it's my fault because I created this persona for myself. People only handle you how you allow them to. So if you ever wonder why people are dealing with you that way, you allowed it one too many times, and now that has become the pattern. And only you noticed it was an issue when it became a problem for you. And now they wondering why it's a problem for you because you've been this way all this time. And I really wanted my family it's like I had to get it through their head that I'm not the same with Shanté no more. I don't care who y'all want me to be. I'm not her. My family knows, this is my grandmother, okay? My family knows how to spend and they know how to make. My family is some hustlers, okay? They will make a way out of no way, but guess what? They will spend it so fast. I mean, you done already spent, you ain't even made it. And I don't want to be, it's stressful. And, like you're saying with your family, it's like they'll live in the house, but then they have 3 cars. And I wonder, people that I know, the time that we lived together, and people will say, let me come stay with you for a little while, and I'm gonna save my money. And they'll say, oh, it's only gonna be like 2 to 3 months. Well, we already know it's not gonna be that. We're aware it's not gonna be that. Because who the heck don't save enough money in 2 to 3 months? But they start going here and there and just, and it's like, hey, I don't have no money. I'm not able to do this. But me just learning how to say no, and then also me reminding myself that, Shanté, just because where you are, they're not there yet. You really need to have some patience with them, and you need to be okay with if they're not happy. So I'm gonna tell you guys my first memory of money, and since I knew we were having this today, you guys know I was thinking about everything I was gonna say. My family, we went to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and all these things every year. But do you know what? When I needed to ask my mother, could I have money to buy books at the book fair or can I have a few dollars to get cupcakes at the bake sale? I didn't have no money. So I didn't care about no Disneyland. Can I just have money for the nice clothes that I want because my friends have all this nice stuff and I want to look nice too? My family was never the type to really care about designer clothes or getting all dressed up. If you were a child, it's like, I'm not buying those clothes for you to tear them up, which I appreciate now, but it gave me a complex. So for all the years when I didn't have clothes and I didn't have the things that I wanted, the moment I got my first job, you guys don't know, when I get paid, I'm going shopping. I have clothes right now. I have clothes from 2019 and before that still have the tags, and now I just can't fit them no more. But I keep saying I'm gonna get smaller and I'm gonna fit those clothes again because I can't imagine giving them away because I worked so hard to get that stuff. That I know other people will appreciate it more, and then that bothers me because I done bought stuff other people are gonna appreciate, and and so it's like, I just wanna know from you guys, because I do want this more engaging, what was your first idea of money? And when can you acknowledge that you let your money management get out of control? First time, I wanna go we gotta go way back.
So I'll speak on it. I don't think I ever had a hold on money. It's never been important to me. So that's for me, because I'm listening to you, I'm like, and I'm polar opposite. Like, and when I had my first job, I was getting paid $3.45 an hour. That tells you how long ago that was. I was getting paid $3.45 an hour, and I was just happy that I was able to help my mom, right? Now, I'm really about to date myself, because I remember what I bought. I bought me some cross-color outfits from Josie Boo.
Oh, you was dope.
Because I got a check and I was like, okay, I'm getting half my mom and then all I need is the Josie Boots and the outfit, right? And so every time I got my check, and that's how I've consistently lived my life. Like, it's not that deep because everything is gonna be taken care of. So I've never sat with the forward thinking until I got older about investing or what the future of money look like. So that's my first memory. Okay. And I don't have that. I wouldn't allow my kids to do that though, to work and pay me and give me money. Okay. I will not allow that.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't. My kids are growing with me and I don't allow that.
Oh, awesome.
Right.
I have a different experience.
Yeah.
So when I started high school in 9th grade, I asked my mom, like, when do we want to get school clothes? And she said, oh, no, you want to work. You have to work to get your school clothes. So I signed up for the mayor's summer job program, and I had a job ever since then. So I kept money and I shopped, and I just always worked, always found a way to make money. And then I got sick and I got on disability, and I always had a way to side hustle or find money. That's just always been my thing. I never wanted to ask anybody for anything. And my mother made me pay rent and bills when I was in high school. So therefore, I was always able to survive. So I never had nobody give me anything. So I always worked. I was in high school buying Coach bags. Like, I had two, like, I was hustling, like, working. Yeah, for real. Like, I kept a job until I got sick. So, yeah. Okay, and that was my experience doing my first.
My mom pretty much, I had always all this stuff, like from game systems, I had all of it. So I always thought it was easy, and then you spin it, you make it again, so it's no problem. So I live like that, and that's kind of why I'm financially messed up, because that's not the truth. Because I make it, don't mean I need to spin it, like,
Yeah.
And then my mom wasn't taught about saving, so she couldn't teach me how to save. She didn't know how. She's right now like 50 something, and she's learning now how to save.
My mom, I was raised by my grandparents. I always had all this stuff. Never expected to get a job to pay for any of my stuff. My mom, in the lifestyle that she was in, whenever she would come around, I'd get more stuff. So my idea was just, I've always had, right? And I did get a job when I was 16, my first job, and I was with my ex-husband's relationship, first boyfriend, whatever. And because I always had, and he did not have, he really struggled in his life. his parents, who lived with us for 10 years, you know, just didn't always make the best financial decisions. Anyway, I gave my first check to him to help him pay their electric bill to get their electricity back home. I never experienced not having, all my utilities were always on, I always had food, never experienced hunger, none of that.
I'm saying, okay, Nunu.
And, no, I was very far from
No,
the suburbs.
you know,
I was very much in the hood. But, my grandmother made me quit my job after I did that,
Wow.
because she felt like, that's what, you know, like, that's what I'm not gonna do. But that was my first, you know, kind of relationship with having my own money. And then, I mean, kind of like she said, I mean, once I started working after that, when I became an adult, I mean, I've been used to having things. So things, that was my thing, you know. I bought a brand new Beamer at 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? And lived in a freaking 5-bedroom, 4,700 square foot house. You know, so, and that just came from just, I guess, being given everything and then seeing like my mom, when she did come around, my mom was like fancy. That was like a movie star to me, you know. She had the hair, you know, she just smelled good all the time. Always drove something banging, nice, branded, you know, and she's still the same way, but she gets her money very differently now. But, you know, I didn't have the relationship with money where anybody taught me how to save it or how to invest it. You know, I'm 20 years old with all this stuff. And then by 23 years old, when the market crashed, I had nothing. I was homeless. Didn't know how to deal with that. And the people who I've helped, who lived with me and all of that, all of a sudden, well, y'all need to figure it out. Now I'm homeless with kids. So, yeah.
For me, the best memory I have is like in high school, just like her, how she was saying how like her mom, pretty much as soon as she get money, she spend it. My mom was like that, like hustler, just survival mode. She wasn't taught nothing about saving. She just like, I gotta get it. So in high school, she did give me this sense of independence where she would get like child support from my dad. And the little card, she would give it to me and have like $100 on it. And she would give it to me every month, like my junior year, she started doing that. And so I'll be going shopping, going to the city, you know, just kind of feeling this sense of independence. And then I just always kind of too kept a job and stuff too. But that's like my best memory I have, like the start of feeling like I have my own with money.
What was the question, or what?
Like, what's your earliest memory of money? And then also, like, the first memory you could think of when you didn't know how to budget it. It's like, okay, this has gotten out of hand.
Okay. Well, my first memory of money, I had a job at 14, a summer job. And at the end of the summer, I wanted to spend it all on school clothes. But I was raised by my granny and she made me save half of it. And that was my first memory. Me not knowing how to budget is when I moved out and had my first apartment. All the bills came in and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, this one, the next one.
And again next month.
I was like, no, this is what it's due. So, you know, I got a cold wake up with my first apartment at 19, so, yeah.
Mine, I guess, would be babysitting was my first, independence and having my own money. And I would say like her moving out, being around, having to pay every little thing. Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to ask was because a lot of what we know about money. You go ahead.
No, I was trying to wait till everyone else
Go
go.
ahead, cause this is my grandmother. So we're gonna talk about learned behaviors.
I started working when I was about 8 or 9 years old, working in a restaurant, peeling potatoes. And when I earned my, brought it home to my family. I always believed that I was blessed to bless somebody else. I did not save money, I gave money. I got married when I was 16, my mother died the next day. So I raised 17 children, having my own and my siblings. When I was married, my husband, at the time that I had to complain about how much I gave away. And my answer to him was, I bless others and God bless me. So I never really failed. I've had a good life. I've had health problems. I'm still having a good life. But I look like I'm 77 years old. And I'm still working. And I've been going to school all my life. The reason I came to this meeting tonight was to learn. I don't save, I spend. And I'm trying to start saving. I bless my family. And I take them to Disneyland every year.
Yes. And everywhere else.
And everywhere else. And not only do I take them, I take their friends and everybody that show up. And my life has been, I've enjoyed it. And I didn't do it for gratification. I did it because you have to live the best life while you're alive and meet members, because one day you're gonna die. And I still don't have any regrets, but I'm trying to learn to say no, because what I have experienced is rather than blessing people, some of those people I haven't able to. And the other thing that I learned, and I'll share it, and I don't know if it's on her agenda, I'm one of 12 children. We formed a business together, incorporated and all that. We were gonna save money every month, and we sent somebody to school to learn how to buy a house and all that. But everybody didn't keep the promise. They would start doing what they want with their money, not committing. And all of them still don't have houses. You know, because I think that today the best way to get around the problems, you need to review your goals and put them in writing. Because people will forget what they commit to, and you need to get together once very often to review them and see where you are, because it is doable. And I'll say, shut up and say thank you.
No, so that's the thing. That is how I was raised. I was raised to, if the Lord blessed you to be the breadwinner, be happy that you are the one that is being asked and not the one that needs to be, that's not the one that needs to receive. And I would always have people but if I would complain about it, people would make me feel bad because they're like, be grateful that you're the one with the money. And it bothered me dearly because it's like, yes, but I don't really have any money. Like I'm working more. Like I got a second job saying, I'm gonna get a second job so that this second job is gonna be the one I'm gonna save money. So everybody can ask me for all the help with this first job, but this second job, I have been working that second job for 15 years. I want you guys to know that. 15 years I've been working that second job. I have a business. It's still very hard to save money. And so what ended up happening in this last year since I've been home, yes, I do save my money now. Unapologetically. And I have learned to be so selfish because I have to take care of myself first. Like I have to, and I'm not gonna feel bad about that. And that's the one thing that we teach our children, and I want you ladies to be very mindful of what we teach our children, because we always tell them not to be selfish. Like we engrave that in them and we make them feel bad when they want to look out for themselves. But it's like we have to really find that happy medium. On this slide, it states that financial habits and attitudes are often passed down from parents to family members. Community norms and behaviors also play a significant role in shaping financial practices. When I realized that I wasn't going to do certain things, I said, well, then I'm just going to be hood rich. Hey, let me go find an apartment that's like low income. I'm in there. Let me go get me a nice car. Let me dress nice. As long as my hair stay done, my nails stay done, I'm happy. Why would I say that to myself? How is that even happiness? But as long as when I went out and I looked good to my peers and some few dudes came from out of town and they seen girls from Oakland is cute, I thought I was good. What is that? you know? And like, seriously, I really had to say to myself, and then because you guys, I'm gonna be very transparent. I was a thief. I was a thief. I went to prison for grand theft. I don't have people around me that made me feel bad about it. I don't. You know, my friends, they like, hey, it was corporate America. We don't care. You know, as long as it's not the people close to us, we never feel like like you're not a snake if it's not your people. I had to look myself in the mirror and really tell myself, LaShante, you're a thief. You've been a thief since you were 12 years old. I justified it because as long as I was getting money, and that was just a thing of Oakland, you know what they think people from Oakland do. So as long as I was able to get money, yeah, nobody in my circle made me feel bad about it. But as fast as I was bringing it in, and of course you think back of like all the money you brought in, you're like, I don't even have anything. I'm like, what the heck was the point of that? And so this time around, I will tell you guys, I started my job as an intern. I started at 20 an hour. I was just like, I'm going to be broke. I want you guys to know something. I have not been broke. I'm serious. I have really managed the heck out of my money because I knew I had to. There was no more going out to eat with my friends, and they weren't going to make me feel bad. And I had to really tell them, like, listen, right now, I can't hang with you guys like that. I have to save my money. Those bottles, which I don't drink expensive alcohol, but those bottles and my friends like to go out because I would be the one like, let me buy you a drink. I don't know who I thought I was. I don't know who I thought I was. I thought I was somebody though. I'm serious because I had the nice cars, I had the jewelry, you know, I had all these things. I never thought of myself that way though. I really want you guys, I never put myself on the pedestal that how people viewed me, but I did enjoy being the person that I knew had money compared to my peers. What I don't like is that I never made sure they had the money with me. That's where I was wrong. And so, you know, now when I was speaking to Satia, my goal is to help people learn how to manage their money because it's like, I thought I was going to be like struggling. No, because when I went to go apply for school and they're looking at my income where normally I would have had to pay to go to school, I went for free. You know, when I first came home, the very first thing I did was I applied for food stamps. And by applying for food stamps, that helped me pay, like, if you're looking for a job, they'll give you bus tickets or gas cards, they'll help you with clothing, you know, it's all of these things. I really had to put my pride aside. And that's another thing about learned behavior. I don't know how we have so much pride. I think it's like embedded in our DNA, but there's only certain help. I would say most people I know are comfortable getting food stamps. Like, it don't matter how much money they have. They will, I'll spend yours. Like, we're cool with that. But when it comes to any other kind of help, we don't like to get the help. I don't know why. And that's one thing that changed about me is being able to ask for help. When you were speaking and you were saying you don't, when you were speaking and you were saying like, you know, you don't have anybody, that was always kind of the chip that I had on my shoulder. And I want you to know, for me personally, that's a lot. It's my grandma. I got a best friend. Yeah. My best friend, I have people I can call. And I told myself, like, Shanté, quit saying that because I don't want to, which is fine, but I wanted to stop telling myself that I don't have nobody. Because that was my excuse that when people would ask me for stuff, it's like, well, I don't have nobody. I had, you know.
Yeah, because here's the thing, I got sick at 20. I found out I had lupus on my 23rd birthday. Mm-hmm. It was a poop show for years. Like I was off of work for over 2 decades almost. And I had to go on disability. I had no money for a long time. So I lived on fixed income, whatever. And it humbled me, of course, and I learned a lot. Like, people treat you so different when you grow, and they treat you so different. Like, and then when I start having a little bit of money in my pocket, oh, it's different now. Hey, girl, you get what I'm saying? Like, they didn't see me, they didn't want to have nothing to do with me, they didn't want to put me on, they want to try to educate me on how I could, none of that. And I'm not saying I didn't have people, I have someone who did look out, my brother. But at the end of the day, I noticed, and I noticed from a lot of my female peers, like, it was almost like they were cool with me being needy Mila. So now that I'm not so needy Mila, like, they don't want to hang.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta pay my way.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta worry about me having my part of the room. But it's like, I was cool when I could pay your way, and I was cool when I could help you. That's the thing too, because sometimes people don't want to see you at your best. And that's just a real thing. Like, I have some people who want to see me win, and those who don't want to see me win, I just, change the circle. And it's sad, but it's true.
Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna tell you something. I felt that way about a lot of people. I feel that way about a lot of people, but you know what, listening to you talk, one thing I noticed, we have to have discernment on the difference between admiration and hate. Because sometimes what we take as hate, they're really mad that they can't do what you do. And I noticed that it makes me sad because as I'm thinking about it, I think of people I know look up to me. And I always want to feel like they're hating on me. And I don't think that's it. I think they like, how in the hell did Shanté go to prison and come back and I don't care. I really don't, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, people cannot believe the amount of like nonchalantness I have. And I became a bit narcissistic, and I was very aware of that because I don't like feeling sorry for myself, And, there's certain things that I wish as women, why do we always have to have this thing that we're so strong and we can handle anything, and, and it's like by us doing that, we really do more harm to ourselves, because if I were your friend, okay, and you're the person that never needs no help, never wants no help, every time, hey girl, can I help you? You always say, no, I'm not gonna ask you nothing. You got it. Right, that's true. So then it's like, why do we get mad when don't nobody help us? When my grandma was in the hospital recently, I wanted to go up there and see her. You know what she told me? What are you gonna come up here to do, just to see my face? And I said, now see, when we're sick, and someone says, like we're getting sympathy and we're getting empathy from people, we want to be tough. Oh no, we're okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We're good. I'm okay, but I'm not okay. No, I'm not trying to pull her card. It's just, it's like, why do we do that? Why? And then for the people who are circled and go back to this learned behavior, because my thing is, if you don't trust, and this is one of my friends, if you don't trust me as a friend, why are we friends? Like, why do we keep these people around that we acknowledge and that we will clearly tell other people, I can't go to her, like, that's not my friend, but then at the same token, it will be like, oh, that's my best friend, that's my friend, and it's like, why do we hang around folks that we feel like we can't necessarily trust? Another thing that I recently told a friend, because this whole financial literacy thing really made me think and really dig deep. If there's something you do not like about somebody, it is a perception and it is your projection. It is not actually true. If I made a facial expression and you felt I was angry, you're recognizing the facial expression you would make when you're angry. But that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And so I've learned to kind of handle people differently. And it was a whole lot of different thinking, and I don't want to like get too much off the topic, but it's like we have to understand certain learned behaviors that we have. And those learned behaviors is, to me, why we keep struggling I feel like certain people, you know, in my family don't want to deal with me. I've made it that way. It's not that they're necessarily acting funny. I got to the point where I don't want to be bothered. And the only way
Yeah, have to set them.
I love boundaries, but I think I went overboard.
Oh, you get a balance.
Yeah. You know, you have to have a happy medium. I did go overboard. And you know, I want people who are comfortable enough to check me. I love friends and family. I love people who are comfortable, you know, checking me. But as far as breaking the cycle, awareness and education is key. Like just you showing up here today, whether you guys realize it or not, I promise you, you're gonna think differently. You showed up. As you're writing things down, part of the reason why I think they created AI, y'all, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, is so that we can stop writing. In the midst of us not writing, we are not soaking up things. Our subconscious mind is not getting the message.
That's true.
And so you really do have to write things down. I don't get all into the manifestation because people have like kind of ran that through mud. But you have to hear yourself say things. You have to hear it in your voice. You have, when you're writing things down, you know, our internal monologue is listening in our voice. You have to hear that. And so, you know, just you showing up is the first step. There's supposed to be 2 more series. Today was more so just like meeting, seeing where you are, the things that, the goals that you have. There is so much layers. You have to like remake yourself. Like every habit that you've ever been taught, you have to unlearn. Unlearn to learn. You know, you have to like what happened, and you have to recognize it. Okay, let me go to the next slide. So family and community influence. Financial habits often start at home. We learn how to handle money by watching our parents and family members. If we grew up in a household where financial stress was common or where certain spending habits were the norm, we are likely to adopt those habits. Anybody, any of us in here, like said, there's certain things we don't like about our parents, and yet we act just like them. Yeah. Just like them. Right? Like that.
And it shows up the most once you have a child.
Yes, it does. But because now how your parent was starts to make more sense. But for instance, it's common in the community to avoid banks and rely on cash transactions. You know, the thing about that, I'm one that does not trust the bank. I don't like my money in the bank. When I caught my case, it was a bank that took all my money. And I said, if my money was in a shoebox, I would have had it. I would still have my money. That was money I worked for, y'all. They took retirement and so, you know, yeah, I don't trust banks. So I'm, you know, and the reason, and, you know, it's like I'm talking to you guys, but I want you to understand these are hurdles that I went through. So that's why I'm able to talk about them, because I went through them and I'm going through them.
Yeah, because that's the question I would have, I guess, about what's better, a credit union or a bank. You know, because they was like, you need a Navy Federal, you need a credit union account. Like, which is better?
I think it depends on what you want it for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took financial literacy in San Diego, and I really liked the class, because I was telling Santee and everybody, like, financial literacy would be a good group, because a lot of women don't know how to budget, because we have kids, and our kids are trying to keep up with these other kids, with all these game systems, that's $10,000, and so I took financial literacy in San Diego, and Mr. B was saying banks are better than federal credit unions because banks are insured. Credit unions are not insured. If your money is gone, it's gone. But they are. But so I guess they're making it now. But when he was doing the financial literacy, he was just like, a bank is just better than a credit union, because it's hard, if you notice, if you got any messed up check history, it's hard to get in the bank. A credit union really show up in a bank account like that. Like, I'm in the check system. I can't even cash a check at Walmart. Everybody would go to Walmart. I'm like, they would not cash my checks. And they like, why? I'm like, I'm in the check system, because when I first got my first job at like 27 years old, my cousin put me on with these payday loans. She's like, you just go in and get these loans with check. And I was just doing them all over San Francisco, not realizing that I was just putting myself in a hole.
Right.
And it takes time for that stuff to go away. And I was what, I was 27, so I'm only 37 now, but it's been a long time, and I'm like, okay, I should better go to Walmart and cash a check, like, you know, it's for my job, like, I can't even go to Walmart, I can't even get a bank account anywhere, like, I'm trying to open a second chance bank account, but then I did fraud. So my idea is like, I'm just like, do they know where I live? I got a new phone, like that was, you know, it's just a lot of stuff that I think about because I did do fraud and I was going to banks and I was doing checks and so it's just like now I'm getting the consequences of it now. So now I can't get a bank nowhere. So now we're Chime.
Oh, thank you.
I'm with Chime, but now they're recognizing Chime as a real bank. Yes. You can love my Chime. Came out, it was like, if you have a Chime card, you can take it to Bank of America. So they're recognizing Chime as a real bank because it's a lot of people that cannot get a real bank account.
Right.
Like boss checks through mechanics. I tried to choose like, no. So I try to do everything online before I even go down there. And all I can eat is like virtual wallet and Chime. And I've been with Chime for a very long time. And Chime has been helping me because I have their credit card. And that has been helping me build my credit. But it's just like, I want to have a real bank. I want to be able to go in Bank of America. I want to be able to go in Wells Fargo like everybody else. And, you know, I'm going to one day get a car loan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, it's just hard. And even they say second chance banks, but they're really not. Because I get denied all the time before I can even make a deposit. They call me telling me they didn't close my account. And it's just like, okay, so I just been sticking with y'all and been on people sticking with me. So I just stick with them.
But you know something, the thing that I would suggest for this bank or credit union, before you sign it, I would want to investigate both of them.
Yeah.
Because I've been with a credit union before, and the one I've now been with 12 years, and they are insured. And I like the relationship with them. And when you look at the interest rate,
Yeah.
for buying a car, their interest rate is much lower. It's not in the 2 digits, it's in 1 digit.
Yeah.
And I got scammed and they returned my money. I had to file what happened and stuff like that. And they just joined a new credit union. And so I'm having to change up everything. But investigate it, just don't take it because I have the Karma, the Light and all those things where you can buy tickets and then pay over time.
Oh, Klarna.
Yes, yeah, but check this out. We like doing that, but do you look at the interest rate?
No.
No, you don't. And I had looked at the interest rate. I was glad that I buy something, I didn't have to pay for it tonight.
You're right.
And I got a month before I made my first payment. But some of them, depending on how long you go out with it, if you pay it in so many payments, you don't have an interest rate. But if you go over a certain period of time, their interest rate is like 35%.
I didn't know. And everybody's doing that now. PayPal's and you pay now, and you pay later, like, and I realized that because I was doing that the other day too. I was trying to order some stuff that came out. I was like, I can pay it, buy it now. And I'm sitting at $6.
The interest rate.
That's what get us. That's what puts you in the hole.
I have a Capital One account I have for
They're
a long
expensive.
time. Yeah, but I have it for so long. It's like my bank.
What's the rate of what's the interest rate?
I don't have a credit card with Capital One. It's my bank account. But I do have a credit card with Capital. Capital One? Yeah. I have Citibank for my bank account and Capital One for the credit card.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Citibank is high.
And see, with the financial literacy, I do want to dig deep into that, like cleaning up your credit report. Yes, I know how to write the letters. And
I'm sorry, I had a question in regards to what you were saying. You know, when you're in check system, go to all these different things and like things like fraud. I'm guessing that's more of like a Fed thing, keeping is blocking the being able to get the bank account. So it's probably off. But anyway, would it be easier for someone in that situation to then put their money in a trust? Because then you don't own it.
Right.
yes, it's okay. Okay, remember back in the day, we always put everything in our kids' name? Yes, it is. There are some financial benefits to that. You know, for her with the fraud, I'm pretty sure it's like with me, when your name is in the system, there is a way to get it out. Wells Fargo is currently doing a second chance program. They've been trying to get me to come back with them. I used to work it. I used to work it. So, you know, but I will say, you know, they paid, I got my student loan through them at the time. They had the lowest rate. So when you were saying what's better, a bank or a credit union, it depends on what you want. Because like when I wanted a car loan, Capital One was blown. I mean, I got like 2% interest rate.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then, but another time when, I bought a car straight from the dealer, they wanted me so bad, I got 0%, 0.1.
What?
Yes,
Excellent.
I had excellent. Well, because I learned how to write the letters. When you start really learning the game and it's like all this stuff, like credit is not what we think it is, how they tell you don't pay and some people tell you to pay it off. And it's like all these different layers. And
No credit is good credit, that's the lie.
That's
Credit is like bad credit. Why you teach us that as kids? Because I thought I had no credit, I got good credit. And I went in there and listen, no credit is like bad credit, like he's like,
She said she don't know why they teach them that, but what you said at the beginning, why they set you up like
they
that.
want to set you up like that. And the thing is, because it's like, they don't make any money if I go to the car lot and my interest is 3%. They didn't make no money off of me.
Right.
The banks that lend with them are looking for the folks like us to go in and don't have this knowledge and don't know any better. And we want that car so bad. Certain cars we love. It's just certain cars, if they tell us we can have it, we don't care what the interest rate is. If we can drive off that lot with it, we're taking it.
Yep.
And they know that. And that's why they don't let us leave. And we have to stop that. So it's like, I have so much information to give y'all, but the thing was, I'm like, okay, we got 2 hours, and I did not want to drive y'all crazy and like flood y'all with information. But that's the thing, we are learning, and they know we're learning, and it's just like these kind of talks, because if you now know how to go into the car, if every single last one of us now know how to get the car at a low interest rate, and we know how to tell our kids, no, don't get the student loan. This is how you're gonna manage getting financial aid, because I know some tricks to that too. When they want the parents' income, you make too much. Yeah, I found out what other folks is doing to still get their kids the financial aid. So when we learn all those things, that's what bothers them, because we don't need their debt.
And another thing too, when I told you guys earlier, I've been a professional student all my life. I've gone to school and I've always been the older student there. And it hurts my heart, literally hurts my heart, when I see all these people with their tables on the campus trying to get these young people to start paying. They offer credit cards, they're selling them this, and it's all to get them, and here it is, they're away from their parents, nobody's really talking about money, and they don't know about checking account and balancing. When I took my first economic class in college, it blew me out the water to really know the checks and the balance, the GOP and all that, how this country is ran and stuff like that. And those are things we need and our children need when they go to college. I didn't teach my children to save because I didn't save. And I actually have some of my kids, I'm a mother of 8 children. And I have them coming back now saying, Mama, you didn't teach us how to save, you didn't teach us that. But when your grandmother and your mothers were coming up, regardless of what they did or didn't do, they did the best they knew how. And we don't want to hold that necessarily against them. And yes, some of them are learning now because they're in a different area, in a different time in their life. But when we do the best, they accept the best and learn and move on. And like this one out here always telling me is that the children can't hold nothing against you when they become adults. And don't let them do it, because now they're old enough to make their own decisions.
Right, so true.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm the one when it comes to once you turn 18, it's not affecting for me, it's not the age. Once you have awareness, everything from that day forward is on you. I don't care about what the outside factors are, it's going to be how you handle it. You have to have accountability, and that is just that simple. And so when I hear people make excuses, I don't want to hear about your mama, your dad. If you can tell me what they did, you know the problem. Right. When you really have problems is when you don't even know how to recognize, I don't know what's wrong with me. That's when you really have a problem. And like the next slide about internalized racism, you guys listen, that's another one where they get us to spend our money, where we do not like ourselves because we will spend all this money to look like we are buku rich.
Yes.
So you had mentioned about the student financial aid. Are you gonna have another class about that?
I want to do 2 more. That's why I said I didn't want to flood you guys.
No, it's okay, but you are going to have another class about that.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure so I can sign up.
Yes, because, you know, that's why I was saying, we don't ask for help. It's so, for the folks in here who know me, you guys know I've been going to school back to back to back to back to back. You know, every time.
A lot of them don't ask for help because I'm speaking for me, I don't know what to ask for. So I'm just speaking for me, but I do believe people don't ask for help.
Right.
Because they don't want people to know that they don't know. I don't know, but sometimes I don't know what to ask for.
You know, it boils down to a thing of you, even though you may not know what to ask for, but you know what you want. You know what you're trying to accomplish, and you might have to ask somebody else how to accomplish it.
That's right.
And that's why you be a part of groups like this, because a lot of things that you want and things that you need, you might not even open your mouth, but somebody else in that group might open their mouth and answer what you've been wanting and worried about and concerned about. And that's what we do. We support each other. And get away from the stigma that Black women don't stick together.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, so,
Tell it.
okay, I'm sorry, because I'm, you know, I'm about to touch on that.
I have a question too, because that's why I wanna, when you keep talking about accountability, because I'm real big on having accountability partners. I have partners for everything, including money.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi.
And building an accountability team. So I think that that's really important, speaking to what Grandma said about making sure that, you know, I know what my goal is, and I might not know exactly what to ask, but the people in my accountability group know what I need to ask, know what those questions are.
I struggle with that as well, but also it's more of like not wanting to feel like I'm dumping or like being a burden to people. So that's kind of like my struggle.
I usually tell people, the people that you think you're burden on, they're waiting for you to say something to them. Because they want to help you, but and then they don't want to impose. And one of my daughters have an expression she always uses, and take this away with you: a closed mouth never get fed.
That's right.
Okay, and you don't know. I'm a churchy girl, even though she's not as churchy as I am. We talk about that, but God will open things up for you that you need. God knows what you need. But like she said earlier, we have to be willing to receive. You know, you have to be open, because we have choices in life. And we keep going,
Well, see, I'm somebody that's right now very big on school. I push that down people's throats to the point that I am annoying, and I know that. But one reason is because I was very smart when I was young. I was in the AP classes. I did not like being smart. My friends, it was not a good thing to be smart. And so I would dumb myself down around people because I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. I'm learning that that's not helping me and it's not helping the group. And so with my friends now, I tell them, if I give you information, you are free to say no. But one thing you are not going to be able to hold over my head is that I'm gatekeeping. Because if I have something and I have it available, I'm passing it along. Maybe you might know somebody that needs the information. There is a lot. This is the time to be Black. I don't care what no headline says. Like, I learned a lot of Black history when I was away, the type of stuff we don't learn in school. And my grandmother would tell you how I am about just enjoying being Black, because I really do. When somebody puts you down so much, you sit back and you say, so what's really up? Like, why you don't like us? There gotta be something special, because
Gotta be something magical.
right, because if we were really nothing, you wouldn't even invest. They invest so much money. And the reason why I say they, because I really don't know who it is, and it could be somebody that look like us for all we know. But it's the thing of, when I see the propaganda, it makes me say, okay, what are you trying to do? And I'm watching us do great things. I watched when the internet came out, how all of us became content creators and we were making money. We've always been good at entertainment, but it's like, hey, wait a minute, they're making too much of their own money. So when I see those things, like right now, I'm very big on tech. For folks who do not like the current income they have, that's where I like to help people. Okay, let's talk about what you're doing right now. Maybe the education you need, that will require your job to pay you more money. And if they don't, hey, it's somebody else that will pay you what you deserve.
That's why I like tattoos.
Yeah, I'm very big on tech, and especially with our young boys, because they're already playing the video games. They already, Roblox. These kids are so smart, and I tell parents all the time, foster your kids' education. People tend to like their kids around me because of how I turn them into the little nerds. And it's mainly because I want them to know it is a great thing to be smart. Don't ever, ever feel bad about being smart. And yes, you can still be cool. And yes, you can go hang out, but make sure that you're handling business. We have not figured out that happy medium. But the thing with the internalized racism, that's the thing, so many of us have been brought down. Like I could say for me, with my son, when I was helping him with his homework, I got frustrated very quickly. I was not the best to help him with his homework. So I know I gave him a complex about learning, right? But I'm great with other people's kids. But from that, what I noticed was he doesn't like to learn. And so, from me recognizing certain things where I have caused harm and letting him know that I know that I've caused harm, that's where I've been able to help with certain things. The economic disadvantages and stress. Living in an economically disadvantaged condition often forces us to stay in immediate survival rather than long-term planning. The stress of not knowing if you'll have enough to cover basic needs can lead to impulsive spending and reluctance to save for the future. This short-term thinking is a common response to financial instability, but can hinder long-term financial health. Lack of financial education. Many Black communities have had less access to quality financial education. Schools in economically disadvantaged areas often lack resources to teach financial literacy. Without formal education on managing money, people often rely on what they've learned from their family and their community. This gap in education means we have to make a conscious effort to find out financial knowledge and resources. Breaking the cycle. Breaking the cycle of learned financial behavior starts with awareness and education. By understanding where these behaviors come and recognizing their impact, we can start to adopt healthier financial habits. This might involve seeking out financial literacy resources, thank you ladies, engaging with financial advisors, or simply starting with small changes like setting a budget or starting a savings plan. So you guys have the questionnaire, and this was about assessing your own current financial situation, really see where you are, and being realistic about, are you at a point where you want to save? Are you at a point where you want to make any changes? Just think to yourself, when you know you're gonna get paid, what are the things you typically wanna go do? Is it time to go hang out with your girlfriend? Is it time to go shopping? Me, I love tennis shoes, so I love everything.
You're out of control.
Yes. I don't even know where I'm going. So I'm not in high school no more. I have to teach the Shanté, you're not in high school no more. But I love tennis shoes. And then what the thing is, now, where before, if you had to dress business casual, now I can wear tennis shoes. So for me, it's a fun way where I'm not buying heels, I'm buying tennis shoes to look cute at work. Yeah. But it's I'm at work, so why am I worried about making shoes? Why am I worried about what they? Why am I trying to look like so much money at work? And those are the things that I often wonder, and I'm still working with, and I do recognize it is some insecurities where I don't necessarily feel like they're on the surface. I don't wake up daily feeling bad about myself, but I do know one thing about human behavior is that if you have a constant need for something, you're filling a void. Mm-hmm. And when we don't know what the void is, it's we just continue, and then we find habits to fill the void, whatever it is. And so if you take time to really look at your current financial situation Cause the thing is, I'll tell you, like with me, I'm gonna be straight up, I don't want to change. I wanna make some more money. Then be honest with yourself and just say, where I am right now, Shanté, the things that I'm buying, where I am, I'm happy. I want this. Help me find some additional income so that I can stay where I am. But if you know it's excessive spending, and you know you're becoming a hoarder, and you know you don't need all of this stuff, and you want help with becoming a minimalist, then, then let's talk about that. And then, it's finding ways to comfortably get rid of those things, because you gotta let them go. It's really baggage. So when you let go of those things, you can slowly start rewarding yourself when it's worth it. I love jewelry, okay? That's my vice. I waited until I graduated school to get myself something nice. So now what I do is I make sure that I have a goal where I cannot buy myself something until I reach that goal. I can't half-ass it either. It's not, just go to school and get C's. Because then I'm cheating myself. I really didn't learn anything, and so it's like now, making sure that I'm really treating myself so that when I buy things, I don't feel guilty. I really deserve that. And I feel good. And then when I look at it, it helps me identify an accomplishment. And so it's now taking the time, because yes, if we work hard, yes, we do deserve things, but I would say it's getting kind of excessive. We don't need all the things that we have, and we are teaching our children those bad habits. Common financial pitfalls, and this has to do with purchasing items on a whim. As I said, just with impulse buying. Due to stress, advertising, when you're on Instagram, the moment you think of something, it pops up. And because it knows what we want. It knows it. What happens is when you scroll and you look at something for more seconds than the others, that algorithm has picked up that your eyes paid attention to it, and it knows that that's something you have interest in. That's how it works. And so then they're going to show it to you so that you can spend your money. And we like instant gratification. I mean, I'm one of those. A lot of times, if I was having a bad day, I would want to go buy something pretty. I needed something to make me feel pretty. I did. It is therapy, but then after I buy it, then I'm like this.
It's not therapy.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't even care. I don't even care for it anymore. And that's what I don't like that I'm doing. It's like, it was so short. But living beyond your means, we all know that's a big one. I tell people, I know we have Egyptian in our blood. I don't care what nobody say. We know we're supposed to be royal. We know we're supposed to be dipped in gold. And we're supposed to have all, we know it's in us. It's in us. We know we deserve it. And that's why we keep going above and beyond to make sure we have it. But neglecting your savings, once you create your plan, and I hope I can get all of you guys emails, because I will email you some information. Once you created your plan, if there is a reason that you cannot stick to that plan, and please let it be a good one, what you have to do is you have to write out a new plan. You have to figure out, what are you gonna do moving forward? Because that plan is old now, you just stick to that, it's void. But now you have to figure out not just how to save the money that you planned before, you have to figure out how to save the money you should have had already. And that's gonna take some sacrifice. And it's really, most of the time it's really not even that bad, we're just a little bit spoiled. High interest debt that goes with, if your credit cards are very high, sometimes you do need to go ahead and consolidate them and go with one company so that you can go ahead and pay them off. I'm not really too into people filing for bankruptcy. I feel like it works sometimes. If you know dang well you're not gonna pay it, then sometimes that does work. Just go ahead and file bankruptcy because you don't plan on paying people ever. Again, it says ignoring your financial plan, because that's the thing. It's your habit. If you really think about your daily habits, the things that you do day in and day, we do things we don't even think about, and I sucked my thumb for years, so I can say, I do it sometimes, and I have to say, now, wait a minute, what, seeing things that I do when I'm stressed out automatically, I'll have a day where I can put it in my head that I'm fasting today. As soon as my friend calls and say, hey, girl, you want to go eat? I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be fasting today. That quick, So you will see that your daily habit, and you have to make it a habit, you will start to be on autopilot. When you do this for like 3 months, you will not even think about it anymore. You will just automatically do it. And then emotional spending. I mean, a lot of us are stressed, sad. We're coping with a lot. And I don't like to admit when I'm stressed out. I have made the excuse that stress allows me to excel. When I came home, I said a prayer, and it was, please do not let bad situations be the only thing that likes to match up my butt. Because bad breakups and stuff like that is when I was you couldn't tell me nothing after a bad breakup. I was gonna make sure you left me? Right. Like I wanted him to, because that was always how I made people feel my pain, was by feeling my distance. And they always follow you and look at you online. I'm showing out. But I didn't want that to be what fueled me anymore. I wanted to help myself because I just wanted to be great. I didn't want it to have anything to do with anybody else. So, don't allow the emotional spending to like get you out of hand. I will say that if you recognize certain, like if you love flowers, if you love chocolate, if a nice frappuccino, if those little things really do help you, take care of yourself, and yes, this is important, but like in the times that we live in now, it's still important to take care of your mental health more than anything. And so I will say, this is important, your mental health comes first. And then create a realistic budget. Please do not try to act like you just about to save a ton of money. Start very low. It can be $100 a check. It can be $25 a check. It can be $10 a check. It's just something where you're going to be consistent, because when you start, and that's why you guys have the mason jars, because I do want you to start with just even $1. Like just start with something, because when you start to see money and you start to see it pile up, it's something about it that it gets very addictive. You will start to get addicted to seeing your money, like the actual, bankroll. And so it's like, start small and be realistic with yourself and have a goal in mind. List all your sources of income, like just everything, and then calculate the total. Make sure that you track your expenses. I can say for myself, when I first started, I did not properly track my expenses. I tend to leave things out, not purposely, but since it wasn't like PG&E or rent, I wasn't thinking about the fact that I went to Starbucks or Pete's every day, or, that I'm going to lunch and possibly spending $20. I didn't calculate everything so that you can have a realistic expense amount. Set your financial goal. Allocate your funds. That's another important one, because a lot of us, we know how much we make per month, but we really don't know how much we're allocating out. And if you are someone who likes to help your friends and family, put them in your budget and just say, I have $100. Whoever ends up messaging me or needs help this month, this is what I have for them. After this is gone, I don't have nothing else. And don't feel bad when you tell people I don't have it. If you have it saved, you don't have it. Don't consider that, well, yeah, I got a little money saved. It's non-existent. Monitor and adjust. See, that's the thing. Circumstances happen, things happen, situations with the car, things with the kids, like adjust it accordingly. And the main thing is, it's like when people create a weight loss plan. When you have to write down every single thing, like when I had to do that and I would write down everything that I ate, I didn't realize I was eating that much all day. Like, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, what's the problem? Like, but when I started really jotting down the juice, the tea, the little cookie, like really started, and I'm like, oh wow. So when you acknowledge every little thing you're buying and you write that down, you'll say, this how many things I'm buying a month? And then have an emergency fund, and that goes back to things do happen, so be prepared. The type of car that I have a 99 Camry, and I have kept that car because it costs me little or nothing when it breaks down. Like if I had to buy a whole new engine, I would be okay. And I have chosen to keep that car and not get another car, because when I think about what it's gonna cost me for a car payment and insurance, that's money that I could be saving. And then I can save up enough to the point where I can go buy a car with cash. Like if you really sit back and think about how much a car payment and insurance costs you per month, if you will just have a reliable car, even ride public transportation for a year, you will feel so much better when you can walk into the car lot and give them cash, and that car is yours and that title is yours. Think about, I don't know for you guys, but I can think about how many cars I bought off the lot and I never received the title. They got all my money and then they came and repossessed their car. They got their car back. Okay, so make sure you guys set your financial goals. It's gonna be your short-term goals, your medium-term goals, your long-term goals. The long-term is one that I wanna talk about later. That's why I said today, I just kind of wanted to see where you guys were, meet with you guys, have a face, like have you guys know me. I know first-time home buyer programs. I know when folks are on Section 8, how you can turn that into buying your house. I mean, I did a lot of research. So it's like before you buy things, and this is the thing with people with money. Before they buy anything, they talk to their financial advisor. They don't buy nothing without talking to that person first. So it's like, before you make these decisions, take the time and talk to somebody that you feel has a little bit more information, because yeah, maybe you only save 2% interest. If you realize how much that is in dollars over 5 to 7 years, you will be very thankful that you took the time. Set goals. They always say make them SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You have to have a time. Your mind will remember that. If you say in 6 months, I want X amount of dollars, you will make sure that you do what you need to do to reach that goal. But you have to say it, and you really have to make sure you have that set. Create a goal plan. Break down large goals into smaller, manageable steps. Regularly review and adjust your plans as needed, and then track your progress. If you know, it's like, okay, if you have a piggy bank and you set in your mind, like by the end of the year, I want to have $1,500 saved so that I have it for the kids' Christmas. And you recognize 6 months in that you really haven't saved the way that you should. I would say this, come to me, because I'm gonna tell you something that I tell my friends. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, that's another thing with parents. Like, I know programs that can help you maybe get your kids a gift card for Christmas, that can help you get some toys. Don't be too proud to ask for help, because they have those type of services. If you know that you're not at the point where you can even save, let's talk about that. Like, hey, Shanté, I'm not there right now, so I need help with this. You know, this is what my current rent is. I might know a program that can help you with that for a few months so that you can save some money. I have tried to make myself very resourceful. And it all happened from me needing the help. I came home needing a lot of assistance. So just make sure that you track your progress regularly. And then that is the end. We've been talking, so I know y'all don't have a lot of questions.
I have questions, I'll be back.
But for the next one, I work with this guy, Blvd online. If you guys have Instagram, look him up, go follow him. I am gonna give you guys his information. He is like the budget guru. He is the whole reason why I am able to save money the way that I am.
Budget dog?
Yes. I watched him quit his job. One thing that I'm gonna tell you something I get envious of. People who have money, they are able to fail without any care in the world. They have folks that they can rely on when they can fail. We can't fail. And I wish that I can just go follow my dreams and do whatever I want and not care about the outcome and let's just see what happens. But that's not my reality. So if we can just build a circle and make sure that we don't have to feel bad if we don't fail, because the real failure is when we don't try and it's when we don't ask, because we just sat there and let ourselves suffer when we had people that could have helped us. She said she had a question.
So I've been out of jail for around almost 2 months, around March 27th. But before I went, I had a house, I had everything, and I came home to nothing. So I'm trying to restart, so I can't save right now. I don't have the means to save because I have to rebuild everything, the clothes, everything. Like nothing. I have a 3-bedroom house, dogs, kids. It's like my kids, of course, still have, but everything else is gone. So it's like so when I was younger, I used to say I would never have a job because what y'all made in 2 weeks, I made in a day. No. So I was like, I am never working. They out there doing all that for 2 weeks, man. It was just crazy. And it took me to go to a program, Cal Works, and they put me in the mayor's office. And I was from Mayor Ellie, and I was sitting there, and I was just like, I'm so uncomfortable here. I don't deserve it. I don't like it. I see them looking at me like she don't deserve to be here. But I learned a lot in the program, and it's just like I'm trying to start over now, and I need to save. Because when stuff like this happened, I should have been able to come home and have something saved up to where I could have been okay and been in a, somewhere to go. Like, but I'm so proactive on everything that I do. Like right now, I'm waiting on my inspection for my new house. So it's like I'm into everything. I don't want to be on Section 8 for my whole life. My mom wasn't on Section 8 her whole life. When she got to me, we moved out the projects. And was been living in houses ever since. She kept us away. So I don't want to be like that because you do get comfortable with paying a little bit of rent, and then now they're moving you into these low, below the market apartments, and people are paying $25 a year, only paying 8. You get comfortable like that, and I don't want to be like that. And I know I have to start changing, and I want to save. I need to save. I don't. Like I want my kids to go to college. I want to be able to pay for them to go to college. I don't want my son to feel like he has to play a sport to get to college. Yeah. Because that's what most of our Black kids think. They have to pay football or basketball for them to make it out. And I don't want my son to feel like that. I want my son to be like, my mom saved enough money, I can go to whatever college I want to go to, like other kids, So, but it's like right now it's hard, and I'm trying to save, but it's hard because I'm coming to nothing, So I'm trying to start all over again. So what I wanted to actually is, how did you do it? Because, being incarcerated, when you come home, it's nothing. You gotta just like put your foot on the ground and keep going. And it's like, it's difficult. And that's my biggest stress. That's what makes me want to give up all the time. But then I have Satia and Alicia that keep telling me, keep doing what you're doing, keep going forward, the boss program. Like they just, encourage me, and being around other women that came from my lifestyle, that been to prison or been to jail. And like, for instance, you've been there, but you came home on a whole different page. Like, so how did you do it? Because it's a struggle for me every day. It's just,
Because I'm thinking about this because, okay, when I first came, I'm gonna just give you the rundown exactly what I did. I came home October 31st, 2022, day before my birthday. My birthday's November 1st. The very first thing I did was I went down to the DMV so I could go get my license. I knew I needed ID. I then went down to social services. I applied for just food stamps. I had not applied for GA at that time because people were saying that, oh, when you get GA, they make you pay the money back. And I'm like, I'm not paying them no money back. I went down to CEO, which is a program in Oakland. They said that I could start working 3 days, cleaning the highway. Let me tell you, before I went to prison, I was a finance manager. My career counselor asked me, did I feel okay working that job? And I told her I just came from prison making 8 cents. Yes, I'm okay. She said they pay you every day. That's all I need to hear. You know, I didn't care if I had to be on the corner selling oranges. That's really how I felt. I was not going to do what I used to do because I did not feel like the reward was worth the risk no more. When I went to committee, they said, how do we know you're not gonna come back to prison? I said, the only way I'm coming back here is if I get like $1 billion and every day when I sit here, I'm smiling because my family got enough. You're not gonna see me in here for no chump change. So that's what checks me very often because yes, I know how to hustle. I know how to do all that stuff. I do. And my friends cannot believe that I'm this Shanté because this is not who I used to be.
I think the thing that you need to do for yourself is be patient with yourself. I could tell you all kinds of cliches like Rome wasn't built overnight. You know where you've been, you know what you want to do. And like this whole financial planning and all that kind of stuff, be patient. You will get there. And you're gonna get there because of your determination. And the things that you say you don't want to do, those aren't the worst things in the world. You know, that's the standard that you have, a goal that you decided for yourself. Don't shoot yourself in the foot as you plan to get those things done. And sometimes even those things that we want by ourselves, we have to write them down. Go back and, you know, set our goals. And like somebody said, you might not know who or what to ask, but it'll come. As you do things to like attend meetings, classes, look at channel, all those things will begin to gel. And you take the time to learn. So be patient. You're still young.
Yeah, so there's a couple things I want to touch on. I want to apologize too, because usually I open this up and let you guys know kind of what's going to happen here. But I want to have a conversation, not this at this one, but and talk about desperation versus discernment.
Say that again.
Desperation versus discernment, because we do things a lot out of desperation when we know what we need to do. I think the question you asked was a good question, but no matter what you did, it's not going to help you. You know what I mean? Because everybody's mindset is not the same. When I approached her about doing this, because I used to do currency conversations, I love talking about money with people who really want to talk about money. But what I learned is that everybody does not approach it in the same way. So she's a hustler. She's talking about stacking. You want to have money, but hustling might not be in your DNA.
She hustled, that's why she went to Santa Rita.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But she won't approach it the same way you do. Right? So you may have somebody, because I didn't understand why somebody was saving money, they had envelopes on their wall, right? And it was a rent, car, movie, stuff like that. And they would put that in. The way my mind works, I can figure out a math problem, a crucial math problem, but I can't write it out. You know what I mean? So everybody's not gonna have that same thing. And that's why it's important to have an accountability partner, because what you want, that's cool to get there, but you're not gonna have, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be, how did you do it? You'll get something from that, but you're not gonna do it the same way, because that's just not how you move, and that's okay. So for me, when I started, because I went through the same thing, I went through programming and everything, I got out, went to get on EBT, my first time ever hearing about EBT, because we in Illinois, we got link, and you know what I mean? But that's how I started, and I said, like she said, baby goals, but for me, it had to be something intentional. So I said, okay, I want to make sure I have my deductible if something happens to my car. And that's how I started. Because what I do know, if my car breaks down, I'm going to lose my job. So the first thing I did was make sure that I had $1,500 for my deductible or tow or anything. And that's how I started. And that's an emergency fund. And that's how you start. You have to start somewhere. And thinking like real big, I got to get to $10,000, I have to have this. That's just not feasible for everybody. Some people can do that. Some people can get there, but start small, like the thing that, you'll rent next month.
Right, so I can do that part, but then it's that I know it's over there, and so when I don't have, I go over there and get it, because I know it's there. So that's my problem, is leaving it there. And just, you know what I'm saying, I don't know how to leave it over there, just like, don't touch that. If I need something and I know it's there, I'm gonna go get it, and it's like, now it's back to square one again. So like, how do I stay from going over there?
You know what I used to do? When you have money, go get the money order. Go write the landlord name on there so you can't go mess around with cash.
Cashier check, all the things.
You know what I'm saying? Go pay it early.
Yeah. You have to find.
You have to psych your own brain out. You're gonna be your biggest battle. Like, that was what was so hard. When I thought, okay, I gotta get through this, I gotta get through this. When it came down to, I gotta get past with Shanté, do you know how hard that was? Like, it would be times when I knew, you know, it's like, I knew a play, I go, let's just play.
Like, I really know how to do it.
I know I'm doing it, and I said, Shanté, what is wrong with your mind? I don't even be trying to think about it. It just comes to me because it's just so me. You know, and then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do like what I did before, and it's not gonna be nobody I work with. It's not gonna be, I'm not gonna hurt nobody. It's just the corporate, you know, all that stuff, and it's like, girl, are you crazy? You know, and then I have things that I remember about going to prison. I couldn't stand those little pencils they gave us with no erasers. Why would you do that? You know, when we write letters to our families, the thought of that, y'all don't know, it irks my brain because they really put me down. I think about that bar of soap they gave us. I hate stuff like that. The food didn't really bother me because I'm not that big. I couldn't be called Shanté. I was void.
Yeah.
Like, what? The first time I met somebody, oh, what's your name? I'm like, Shanté. No, we don't call you that. Like, what? That's my name. You know, and it's a way to kind of degrade you. But then I started to love my last name, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, so my last name really matters. That's what we call them folks, right? Me hearing you talk, you're gonna be okay. And I really want you to know that, because in your mind, you know what you don't want to be. It's a lot of people that don't even know that part. They're very comfortable. You know what I mean? No, they don't want to change at all. I've talked to people, hey, you know, I know about this school, I know about this. Oh, no, that's not fitting into my schedule because, you know, I gotta go party on the weekends and I gotta do this and that. And I'm like, girl, we can go party after we get these degrees. Right? We can go party out of town. We can have bottle service, you know, but I've learned not to judge people. That was one of the biggest things. I will tell you guys, I was very judgmental. I would say I didn't judge you, but I was, because I wouldn't judge what you were doing. I would judge what you were not doing. That used to bother me about folks.
I have a question. So don't you find it, and by the time you do all of those steps, and it's time to go get bottle service, that's not even what you want to do?
I got the money now. I got the money.
Yeah.
I don't work too hard, you know, it sounded good.
That's the conversation.
Yeah,
That sounds good to broke people all the time. You go spend $2,000 and then they walk out talking about, man, I shouldn't even want to get food in Vegas. Great do next week when you out there, like, you know, that's like everybody asked me what I was doing for my birthday, and I said I've done everything. Now I'm usually start going out the country. I didn't win parties and had drinks. I did that at a young age. I'm only 37, but now it's time to go out the country. Let's go to a party in Europe. Let's, you know.
And you know what's beautiful about that? See, we need someone who can plan, like, going out of town, because you can make payments on that. I was so surprised. My friend's girlfriend, she recently went. She's doing like a tour of Europe. She paid it per month.
Yeah.
Went on a cruise, and it looked so beautiful, and you know, and it's like, because if we hear you gotta pay $3,000, it's like, oh no, I can't do that. You know, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm cheap. I don't have a passport. I've never been out of the country. I don't care how much money I touch. I've never done anything worth bragging about. You know, cars and stuff, that's not worth bragging about. Like, I really wish I would have enjoyed my life. And I did not enjoy my life. This time around, that's what I want. I really want to enjoy my life, and I want to help other women manage their money so that we can enjoy our lives. Like, that's what's important now. And we have the money. Like, me hearing that you can put the money aside.
That's hard. We heard you. We heard you.
You know, because if you really didn't have the money, you wouldn't have the money to put aside beforehand. Right? But it's like, if you're like me and you so used to touching money.
Yeah. And I just like, I didn't know how to do it. I used to just get a car and drive it and put gas in it. My mom was like, girl, you're gonna be sitting on the freeway one day for hours. You don't even know how to change the tire. And I didn't. I used to just put gas. I didn't even know where the water went. I just gas and I'm gone. I'll buy another one, and I'm about to get another little Honda. That's my favorite car. I like Honda. Gas savers. easy to fix. I don't want a foreign car. I don't even own a house. I don't want a foreign car on Section 8. I want a foreign car when I have my income and I can pull it in my driveway or in my garage and it belongs to me and I have the money to get the $800 brake sticks, not just have it and it break down. I can't, it's just sitting there. I don't want that. Like, I've seen that my whole life. I'm from San Francisco. That's all I see. All these people living in projects and we have Benzes and Range Rovers, and the next week, all you need is a light bulb, and you can't afford it because it's $500 just for the light bulb to go in there.
You know how they talk about us on the internet that we don't ever change our smoke detector batteries.
No, we take them down. We take them down when they go off too many times. My mom always took it down when she cooked, and it go off. We never it go down, it come off, but because the cookie goes off when you cook it. So I'm like, take that out, take that out.
See what I'm saying? But because I know we are almost time, and I know y'all tired because most everybody been at work, but just it's the little things. Like, okay, the times when I can't afford, I wear wigs and I love wigs. You know, folks will say, "Oh, you must don't like your hair," and they make it this big thing. It is convenience for me. I don't care what nobody says. It's convenience for me. But what I have learned is ways to wear my hair when I cannot afford to wear fake hair, where I still feel beautiful. Okay, because it's not just it's not the thing of like I don't like my hair. It's how can I style my hair in a style that I like that is quick and convenient. That's really what it is. I've learned to take better care of my skin. Drink more water, eat healthier. When my skin looks good, no, I'm not thinking about putting on no dang makeup. You know, so I still have makeup available, but I'm not going through it so fast because I love to wear my skin sometimes now. You know, even with clothes, I feel like at the times when I came home, I really started gaining more and more weight. So you know what happened? I wanted more labels. I wanted more designer. Because I really didn't feel good in what I had on, so I started to buy more things so it's like when you see me now, you're seeing a name, and it has nothing to do with Shanté. So, it's like, we have to take care of ourselves too. That's what's really important. When you feel good about yourself, you don't need all this extra stuff. You really don't. If you have your home, and you have people who love you, and you have healthy food, you're not thinking about, because half the stuff we eat, we should really be. We know that. But yeah, when you really take care of yourself, you will make sure that you save your money because you have things to look forward to. You're going to think about that vacation. You're going to think about my child's going to go to college and I want him to have his own spot out of state. I know you want to be that mom. That's me too. I didn't have the best relationship with my son for a long time. This is the time when I'm really building a relationship. Money don't even matter to me like it used to.
Right.
Me and my kid is like this right now.
Do you guys know when your next meeting is?
The financial meeting or
Yeah,
just
the next one, session for this one.
for the next financial one? No, not yet, but everybody, I have your email.
Because that's when you guys had some time to think. I didn't want to. I really wanted to burden you guys with a lot today.
We appreciate you being patient and kind.
We here to learn. But you know what the thing? It was like first, like where is everybody?
We set a goal and or challenge before we rank.
Okay.
All individual goals or collective goals, whatever. Especially if you're showing up to the next one.
Okay, what's mine? All right. I will not, from now to the next one, I will not buy any more. I will not buy another pair of shoes. You too. I ain't gonna buy no shoes.
No more fast fashion, no Fashion Nova, no Shein.
Unless it's an event. Now, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with buying things when you have somewhere to go. You should not be buying it just because you got paid.
Things I had to sit in the closet.
Then go, okay, you don't need to buy nothing.
Like with tags on it, like, girl, I don't need nothing, I have no.
Okay, so then we're gonna be accountability partners. We're not gonna buy no clothes or no shoes.
And I'm trying to lose weight too, I don't buy nothing no more right now.
I'm gonna tell you what I did.
And then we check in.
Even the ones on sale, even on clearance.
That's
You need it?
justified.
That, no, I'm like that. I'm Clarence, I'm Ross, I'm Marshall, yes, but I don't need it. Okay, what's your goal?
Amira. Well, I think so. I've been thinking lately, my goal is for the next 3 months, I want it at least, it's small, but I need to get to that part, because I can't even get past $100. So for the next 3 months, I should at least have $2,000 put to the side. I think that's small for me, that's big for me, because I can't even get past, like, gas and stuff, it's just everyday needs, so I wanna be able to just be like, it's okay to not have today. If I got the food, not the things that I want, the things that I need.
Yes.
If I have that, then it's okay, don't leave that money there. And cut back on cigarettes, because that's my main, when I stress, I smoke cigarettes, and they're $20 a pack.
That's a goal right there, I'm just saying.
They're $20 a pack, and so that's a big chunk of my money.
You notice they got rid of the cigarettes they know our people smoke, right?
Yeah.
You said what's your time?
You notice they got rid of the cigarettes they know our people smoke.
Yeah, and they're $20.
Yeah, why would they do
$20. If, depending on, somebody might give it 15, but that's a lot of money.
That is a lot.
Using that for gas for the week or something else than cancer. Because really what I'm paying for is cancer, and cancer runs in my family. So I'm cancer runs in my family, so I'm making myself more subjected to having cancer because it runs in my genetics. So I need to let that go. So that's the goal, is cutting back on my cigarettes, because when I stress, I need a cigarette. So I have to figure it, so they go together. When you drink, you want a cigarette. When you stress, I want a cigarette. So I can find something that replaces the cigarette, and then it'll cut my budget a little bit down. So yes, my goal for 3 months is $2,000.
Oh, you got this.
And cut back on cigarettes.
You're gonna have to find a new habit to fill that.
Yeah, so Jermaine's been working out, so I've been looking around, trying to find other habits to do to cut it off. Because I know when I stress, it goes hand in hand. I give me a cigarette, you need cigarette. And then I went to the puff bars, and I was like, dang, you next to me, you see that? Like, so I know, and I'm trying to realize what other things that I need to do. So I've never worked out in my life, so I've been thinking about just, when I get stressed, to go out, walk the lake or
It helps, it really do, because I think it does like the same hormone that you would get when you smoke. It releases the same hormone when you work out and stuff. So it helped me in the past year. Working out has literally been the best, like, mental health for me. Like, whenever I'm stressed, I go to the gym, and literally I leave happy as heck. So I highly recommend.
so.
And it ain't even gotta be nothing like gym, like you said, walk the lake, whatever, that's the best. That's been my outlet too.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone to stop smoking and to something on the job. So whatever money you're going to spend on cigarettes, you take a job. Then at the end of the year, and like you said, you want to travel, at the end of the year, they have enough money to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, that is.
Travel.
Yeah.
All right, any more goals?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did you set yours?
No, I'll be trying to wait till everybody. My life has changed lately for multitude of reasons. And, I was listening and taking in, I started my goals. I started saving. I changed jobs. I was a part-time job rather than working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I think the biggest goal that if I were to set for myself is to say no when I started that. I got one big event coming up July 6th, and then after that, I'm just gonna think more about me. I'm okay, but I am happy. I'm not just saying that. I'm at peace, I'm happy. I enjoy life. I enjoy my work. I'm a registered nurse. And, I enjoy what I do. I help people. I talk to them. And I help them out. I work mental health. And, I've been a nurse for 59 years. So I'm trying
for your service.
Right.
Thank you for your wisdom.
No, so I really like it, but I'm being very prayerful because I know I'm not gonna live forever, and I wanna start just traveling and doing things for myself.
And you should.
And when you were talking about having savings and then, reaching into it, like, you know what I would do? Go out and get another job, stay home.
Yeah. I don't wanna be like that no more. I'm burning my ships.
I love it all.
Find something that you're already doing anyway, especially for people, and have them pay for it. You're already doing stuff for people, then you're getting paid for that.
Yeah. I wanted to do, my name is Melissa, we run Plays. And, I just wanted to kind of go back a couple of comments. When you said you first got out, like when I first got out, I was so hungry to stay out. And I had everybody bombard me with all these money schemes and all this other stuff. Plus my mind was playing tricks on me. But I had to get this paper back. So I just said, if I gotta be broke, I'm gonna be broke. If I gotta be on the bus, I'm gonna be on the bus in the bar, because all I remember was holding tank and being on that bus and looking at that wall, and my son, he was mad when he was angry when he had to come see me in that, and my dad, everybody so disappointed that it was nothing that I personally wanted more than to have a life where my family could feel good, I could feel good about me, my son could feel good about me, regardless of everything else. And that's what you gotta focus on. You have to feel okay with you, in your skin, where you at, on the bus, on the bar, in the bucket, in the rain, whatever it is. You gotta be okay with you, and don't feel pressure from other folks to, that's over. I gave that number back. I gave probation back. I gave parole back. I've been indicted. You talk about go get some money in the bank. I had a crew. We were state to state, but I don't want to get into that. But I gave it back. I gave the game back. Just the mindset. I gave the game back, and I had to get jumped out. I almost lost my life with my baby daddy. He was deep in the game. He's like, oh, you ain't finna get away from me. You not. I fought for my life. He almost killed me in my house. So when you be determined to change your life, just know it's gonna be opposition.
Yes.
But you're gonna have to go against that and stand on your faith, stand on the power that God is gonna give you to go a different direction with your life. And you can do it. Because you're not here for no accident. It's a divine timing. You got all this love, all this support around you. You can do it. You got this.
You spoke the words to her, honestly, because she's been blessed and asking doing all these amazing things. I'm so proud of you, know that. And things keep coming to her left and right, trying to knock her out. That is real.
Because I've been with the boss program for a couple of years, so I went to jail. I came home and I went to the women's house and I met amazing women there. It was like the family. Alicia was there. I was always, that was my main girl I went to, was Alicia. And I was so mad when they demoted her, but she was on probation. So when she became peer support, I was like, oh, you belong to me. Like, you know, and I ran with it and I give her, and she's just so lovable, and she's been there, and I've been with the boss program. And then I went back to jail. And then I came home, but when I was in jail this time, Alicia was like, are you ready this time? She never told me. They never wanted to give me a job. They never wanted to put me on. She's like, you're not ready. You're not ready this time. She was like, are you ready? I was like, I'm ready. She's like, you sure you're ready? I was like, I'm ready. She's like, you're not, you got a job. And when I got out, Jill had my job. He waited for me to come home. And so when I got there, I was like, I can't, and now I got people that I can't let them, you know, including my son and my mom. So it's just like, I don't want to do that. And I'm tired. I don't like going to jail for one. I don't like being around a lot of women. I don't like being confined. I don't like telling me what to do. I want to get up and go take a shower by myself. I don't want cameras in the back. I don't like that. So, and I don't go to jail often. Like, but when I do go, I go for real crimes. And when the judge looked at me, it was like, you're a menace to society. I was like, I'm not. Like, it's so much more to me than what you see on paper. Like, I made a mistake. Like, it really was a mistake. I can't let my kids be starved either. So I'm in a hard predicament, but I need to know, and I'm learning every day being around Shanté and all these beautiful women that it's okay. I'm learning it's okay to be broke. I'm fine with being broke. I don't need it. I don't need it. No, I know that, and that's the problem. Like, I don't want to be like, you know, but this time I'm like, it's okay if I'm broke. It's all right. You know, I'm fine with that. It's okay because I don't want to go back there and I don't want to let some people down because they believe in it so much. And they see more in me than I see in myself. So I'm learning every day that I'm, you know, it's a lot more than me. And then I didn't like the concept of people told people that didn't know me. Oh, she's rude, she don't cuss you out, and people like, oh, you're not even what they say you are. That's what my game was like, no, that ain't. Went to that job at the mayor's office, I didn't learn to lie, so what you perceive, yeah, I probably snapped off and went off, but that's not me. It's a lot more to me. I'm not a person that goes to jail. And when we took the emotional intelligence class, I use that every day now. I use my emotional intelligence class every day. And I just love seeing people that come from where I come from, going to jail and making their own businesses. It just keeps me going, you know, because I'm gonna get there. I will be there. I just gotta figure out what part of it that I want to do in social justice, like, you know.
And that's what we will talk, because I do know a lot of different schoolings, and when you are formerly incarcerated, there are a lot of programs that will help you. There is a lot of money. I don't know why they don't disclose it, like it's not, you know, like, you can't Google it. I don't, you know, so it's kind of like, how is the person supposed to know, right? I really found out from probation knowing I was serious. You know, when I was at CEO and they realized I was serious, they paid for me to get my certification in human resource management.
Yeah, last time my PO was, she was like, listen, I'm keeping it up from, I recommend jail time. She's like, what you need? My mom don't play that, I gotta get my kids. And she was like, well, if you show me, and I became her #1 case, so she was like, you know, tell me your stuff. I wasn't even in the women's house the whole year. And I was getting accepted everywhere. They was like, I was too advanced for CTEC. They're like, are you on Indeed? I'm already on that. Like, I need to get, you know what I'm saying? I need to secure the job. And that was the problem. I had the housing, I just couldn't secure the work. So I secured the job. This time with the housing, not a problem for me. I'm gonna get that. Like, you know, I did that. Like, right now I found the house, I'm waiting for an inspection. So, and it didn't take me long, but it took some time, and I know how to be patient, and it's gonna take time and the steps to get there. So I secured the job, so now I'm like, okay, that's all I need now. I'm taking off. I got everything else. The job was the hard part for me, was to secure the job. But Daryl gave me an opportunity, so I'm here now. We're gonna keep moving.
It will feel different. It will feel different. I can say with my peers where, let's say I have something nice, you know, the response is, well, she didn't work for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's different.
Somebody told me that today. It's like, you only got Section 8 because you was on probation. I was like, well, you should have followed me. You should have followed me. You should have followed me.
I had somebody, I had went to trucking school. Oh, so they just helping all the people on paperwork, huh?
Yes.
But you know what?
You know, I use them. I didn't let them use me. I use them for their resources because probation is set up for you to feel too good. I had a black PO and I told her about Boston. She was like, we contracted with them. Yeah, you don't know who you contracted with. Yeah, you contracted with them. And when I went to Motel 6, I was like, this ain't suitable. My kids can't come. She was like, we'll get you to the women's house. I killed my interview because they interviewed you. You can't just, they're not taking it except anybody. They want people that's really trying to change. And like I said, the programs have to be here for people that want to change. Just because some people don't change, don't mean that other people don't. And I'm respectful for Boss to be here for me to change because this has been the only program that's really been fit for me. And I love this program. I advocate for this program all the time, but yes, and it's just beautiful to see Black women together because you don't see this much, you know.
So when Satia mentioned earlier about Black women in sisterhood, I have so many sisters that I never wanted female friends. I always felt like, and that's why I said I had to check myself about the hatred and jealousy thing, because I think that I read people wrong. As I've gotten older and I've been able to meet women, that's where I knew I was wrong. Because I'm watching how they're accepting of me. I'm watching how they're saying, hey, let's get some money together. What do you do? Oh, I need somebody to do this. I didn't have that from my friends. And it was really because how are they gonna help me? We both
doing the same thing, right?
Right? And so it's like now that I've gotten older, like I am starting to meet women who are like, hey girl, you know, like it's not just let's go party, hang out, get drunk, smoke. It's not nothing like that. You know, it's like I know somebody that has this contract and you do the type of services they need. Do you want to do this event? Or we're gonna plan a trip, you know, would you like to go? Or just, you know, anything. It's not just the same old stuff. And I feel like it was my fault because I was never willing to go outside of my box. If you weren't from Oakland, I probably didn't hang with you. You know, that's kind of how I was. You know, why I had that type of mentality, I don't know, from when I was young, right? And so I closed myself into a very small circle. I've had the same best friend since I was 17. That's it. No other. Anytime females would try to befriend me for what? That was, you know, you want my man or something? Like, girl, what do you want to be my friend for? You know, my mind was so twisted, and I didn't want to accept that it was me, so I made it that it was them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because I want to. Yeah, I want to. Oh, it's okay. I am gonna email you.